Alright, let's see. Time lapse, record. We're good, we're cooking. Let's go. Let's flood this. Alright. Now this. Okay, where do I put? Can I? Okay. Maybe if, what did I do that one time? It's gonna be, it was like this, but then I had it like, oh right, I can do that as a reference like this. Oh, cool. That's cool. And now, can I work on this one? Yes, I can. Perfect. All right, that's a nice feature. Use this one as a reference piece. Yep. Can I grab it? There it is. Okay, and then work on this one. Perfect. Now for my beloved brush, set up the chat, multi-stream one. Hey zombie, hey Mikle. Alright. Let's get to it. What am I looking for still? Okay, what would I do? No. This. Alright. Everything is good, everything is set. I can now get to it. I need size. Color mixing. Hey Rolandix. Hey zombie. Yeah, moving back to Florida. Eesh. Enjoy the humidity. So funny when I was once invited to one of the, I think one of the Florida conventions. Somebody asked if I was coming. I'm like, it's just no. I don't deal well with heat, and Florida's got that special heat, you know, that kind of that. Just no. Oof. Damn, that's that. There's the choice. Banjos or gators. And sorry, whenever I hear Alabama, it's just always gonna be my first thought. I was too hard coded by American movies. I'm sorry. Hey, Dante. Listen, that's honestly one of the rare reasons where it would be awesome. Like seriously, I think if I stepped one step into Florida, like, I think just the idea, like just the sheer amount of like you know swampland and stuff and humidity coming from that and mosquitoes would just end me on the spot. Like I really don't deal well with that stuff. I was like, what was the cause of that? A single mosquito bit him. Yeah, that'll do it. I was like, was it the malaria? No, just a regular ass mosquito. He just doesn't deal well with that shit. Hmm. But what? Ah, hmm. No, no. No, that is actually not what I'm trying to do. I don't think I like this. Do I? Okay. Hmm. Nah, I don't like this. Boop, boop. Actually, I'm gonna do it like this. No, fuck. Let's see. Brush. Let's go. What? Excuse me. Why are you not? Ah, this one. Yeah. All right. Just a chat. All right. Hey, John. Does she have a little hook nose? Yeah. I mean, even on the portrait level, I would say she looks nothing like Loraya. That's not something I say lightly with my work. But yeah, no, she is Raphaela. She is the basically the leader of the Cupids, and she is sort of like a mate to Eureka. Oh. Because Cupids stand for love, but the problem is not all love is good or kind. Love tends to be overbearing. It can be obsessive. It can be unhealthy as well as desire. It can destroy a person. What program am I using now? Clip Studio. Yeah, well, when you're a goddess, you don't really need the hairstyle. You just kind of will your appearance. Even the horns on QB are basically nothing more than a at-will type of a haircut. Hey, get. Man, freaking OBS is so unreliable when it comes to following up to the chat. Let's go to my account here and just see it live because. Hey, Candice. Is this a chapter cover or a panel? This will be probably like a chapter break. One of those images that I use for it. This is something for this current volume. Because now this is where it becomes complicated. Because Cupids have a problem, and that is, she realizes that she fell in love with Lalaya. But here's the problem, though. To say a Cupid fell in love is to say water is wet. It's literally in their nature. And when that's the case, how do you know that the love is real and not just simply your nature acting out? So, emotionally speaking, we're about to enter a whole fucking tornado. Mm. Oh yeah, I've been doing daily streams for a long time. It's just that usually I was doing them only on Twitch, just because they're, I'd put on some music and then just later on unlist the video because of the copyrighted music. But at least now, here I can do the chill vibes that are copyright free, and then just, yeah, paint and vibe. Let's see if OBS got its shit together. Oh, new print plate started. Nice. Cupids don't need to self-shoot with a bow. Cupids already are predisposed to fall in love. It's literally one of their kind of aspects of how they do their job. They kind of go through love heartbreak over and over and over again. 'Cause right now I'm also expanding the Cupid cast as well, so that's gonna be fun. And through this volume, you're gonna find out a lot about, kind of their world, and kind of you're also going to finally find out the entire, basically, from Eureka's standpoint, you're gonna find out the history of her and Lalaya, and you're gonna find out what Eureka has been doing, and then at the end of this chapter, at the end of this book, it's going to cause everybody's jaw to hit the floor. Like, I'm not kidding. The fucking reveal at the end of this book is gonna be just. What makes her love for Lalaya embarrassing or taboo for her then? Technically nothing. Unlike Cupid, like Cupids aren't really forbidden to do it. It's just kind of, yeah, cardinal stuff. Ugh. But it's not that the problem is her loving Lalaya. The problem is, you know, her loving Lalaya is a thing for her. Just a, it's like she's a Cupid, therefore she loves. Problem is, Lalaya has made it clear that she doesn't want her around, and now she doesn't know what to do with that love. It's gonna be messy. Especially because Elia does want her around. The problem is Elia has fallen in love as well, so she's spontaneously spawning the crown, which is a really big fucking problem for her. Because with QB, they are way more uh, militant about the separation of church and state. Yeah, and the problem with her is like, does she go through the process of, dealing with the heartbreak and casting it aside? Because like she's never felt it this hard. And so now she's in a dilemma of she's basically having an existential crisis of like, do I love her because I'm a Cupid, or do I love her because I love her? And that's a big problem for her. Like, she actually genuinely wants to know and doesn't know how she could possibly find that out. Turns out there's somebody who already fucking figured that out a long time ago. Exactly that. It's like she, as a Cupid, she has an equal way of falling in love with everybody. and basically riding out the love and going at the other side, because like that's literally what they do. So Eros was a god of love and desire. But Cupids themselves have found a way to basically help humans by helping them cure the broken heart. And they do it by sharing love. And then, as the heart heals, they basically use the seed to mend the wound. And by the time the emotional wound has been mended, they extract the seed, and that's how they get their ambrosia trees. Now, the problem is, when your literal ability is to fall in love, how do you know if you've fallen in love? Like this is literally what you do. This is for you as simple as breathing generally. Like this is your nature. This is who you are. And then you fall in love with somebody, and it feels somewhat different enough for you to start questioning. You know, is that a relevant distinction? But yeah, in their society, for instance, if people find out that you've been crowning, you're gonna get shunned. You won't get, they're going to avoid you. They're basically gonna treat you as if you're dirty, but they won't necessarily, fucking cast you out completely. They will just kind of be like, you know, uh, they're going to love you, but they're going to love you as a Christian loves a gay person. You know, love the sinner. I'm sorry, I had to go there. It was like the best fucking metaphor I could do. Like, you're gonna have to earn your way back into the purity of self. Yeah, they're like a very kind of toxic positivity kind of a society. Yeah, and of course there's a darker part of love, and that's one of the aspects of her is she's basically her love has taken her to a degree of possessiveness, to obsessiveness, to unhealthy, controlling behavior. Now, somebody made a point that they thought for a second that that was Lalaya. That actually plays into things later on, because when Eureka first time is taken by her friend to a crowning to basically experience it, she was under that bad friendly influence. she has, she has enough QB there to pick from, and she went for the red one. I wonder if that's relevant in any fucking way. This is the fun part about my stories. Usually people go like, it's like, oh, it's a story about sex with a sexy sexing, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, yeah. Stares intensely. Sure, buddy. Don't worry about it. Just go in. You're very curious if there will be a love contracts example? Well, let me just real quick. See this? This is Hecate making a visit to the queue because something big just came out with their own contracts, and she doesn't usually make a personal appearance, but this time she did, because apparently Eureka is currently in a contact with a human that, with a human petitioner that turns out has a potential of, you know, of going big. So yeah, that's gonna play a bit of a role. Yeah, the whole biblically accurate thing actually plays into the lore of them. Because in the biblical stuff, like you kind of see this certain point where at some point angels start being depicted as people with wings. So there's gonna be this whole shtick of basically, fucking. There was a phrase for that when basically they have this sort of a war, the Cupids and QB, between them, about the influence over humans. And it's basically kind of like, what is it called when you're basically bad mouthing each other and that's your war? Like it's not Cold War, no. I mean like just like there's actually like a propaganda war, something like that. Yeah, they have a propaganda war against each other. So at a certain point in human history, Cupids realized that they could present themselves to humans as emissaries of God's will. So they came down to be angels among humans to preach the message of love and purity and pure love. And they told them, listen, those creatures with horns and tails, these are demons, all of them, demons. Devil sent them. Lucifer, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the one who sent them. So at first, Cupid were like, that's a dick move and that's a low blow. But then they realized, jokes on them, humans are into that shit. You tell humans not to do something, they're gonna be like, but can I fuck it? And so they were like, all right, we will embrace it. They started embracing really fucking demonic names, and this is when Lucifer basically named himself Lucifer. Like that wasn't his original name. That was also at the time when Buffett, when basically previous Alecto had claimed the name of Baphomet, which later on a certain human couldn't pronounce properly her golden contractee, and basically he kept calling her Buffett, and she kind of liked it and adopted it. But yeah, so that's why they kind of look very biblically angel-y. Like, well, I mean, the biblically, like the angels from the depictions usually look like them, except they became like the more medieval type, Renaissance type seraphs, and so they would be like very humanoid, but they would also have the eyes on the wings. So yeah, it's a whole thing, and yeah, we'll get to that actually, the story, which is actually funny, because Kale ends up telling Rachel a lot of shit about their past, because he basically inspires her with crazy stories of the gods that she can't write one to one. That's the deal between them. But she takes inspiration from it, and that gets her creative fire going. That made it fun. Yes, her golden contract was a guy. A very depressed fella who through her help discovered the joys that would one day become BDSM. But also they became really great friends. It was the only true friend that she made among humans. But then, she was harshly reminded that humans were fleeting creatures and with a limited time span, and especially at that age, when fucking uh, medicine didn't quite catch up. Have you tried putting more leeches on that? So he dies eventually, and after she has claimed the golden contract, she actually kept visiting him as a friend. But then after that, when he died, she decided she didn't want to deal with humans anymore, so she accepted the position of an arquebus and decided to just kind of spend her days sitting around. Hmm. Yeah, of course the details. Like, that's the joke with my work. I make you think it's gonna be stupid and simple, and it's on paper. You're like, wow, this is gonna be just simple porn, isn't it? I'm like, sure. Now go on, open it. Yeah. And then you're hooked. And then I do the thing with the storytelling and the depth, and all of a sudden oh, is this ice safe? I'm like, yeah, no, it's just a puddle beneath it. Ice cracks. I'm like, ha, get fucked. It's the Mariana Trench. And the irony of Buffet is also the fact that Cupid guided by Lucifer, have kind of declared that they don't mess with fetishists because fetishists are hard to mold. It's hard to basically extract the proper energy from them because they are extremely specific. The way that what's her name, Aluria, basically explains it is a person with a lot of desire, but no clear idea what to do with it. Is basically like weaving a fine thread. You can weave the energy around the seed and power it, no problem. With a fetishist, it's like fucking weaving a steel cable. Like they know exactly what they want, the way they want it, and if you're not doing it just right, it gets fucked. And turns out, I guess it's just a pure skill issue because Buffett weaved that fucking steel cable like it was her second decade at the freaking steel yard. I'm not kidding when I say that this story is gonna go way, way, way deeper than you could ever imagine. That's what he said. But at the same time, it's true. Okay, I can actually, yeah, lower her head and neck. Hmm. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do with this. Let's go. Oh, when See, I start these things not having a fucking idea where I'm going with it, and now I'm like, watch this. Watch this shit. All right, I'm gonna take both of these. I'm gonna first of all edit, transform, scale. All right, gonna scale it down a little bit more, just so that I have the room for the plan. The plan take its form. All right, where's the thing? I need to now take her, edit, scale, scale, transform. There we go. Scale, rotate. Reduce her size a little bit, but put it like this. There we go. I think now their heads are to scale roughly. Now, edit. Change image resolution. No, not the resolution. Edit, change canvas size. Okay, 7K. No, not this one. I need this. There we go. Now. I need this layer. Okay. This, bam, bam, bam. And then I am going to where are you? Where are you? Layer, new raster layer. Okay. Okay. These gods have no interest or anything about self-aware AI. Plus, they're shape-shifting gods. Trust me, they can do a way better job at fulfilling any role than any kind of AI. Okay. Now the idea is I am going to make so let's go with this, and now okay, I need brush, not eraser. Okay, first let's lay down the base. New raster layer. Now this. Now this. And mm, mm, mm. The idea here is that of oppressive, controlling, surveilling love. Is Baphomet going to get her own book, or am I going to throw this? It's going to be fully explored through fine print. I have no intention of making additional books. Fine print is going to tell their story, and it's going to end their story. And Baphomet gets her story told in great fucking details, but at the right time. Hers is one of the last threads properly pulled. Yep, the composition is taking shape. Oppressive, oppressive shape. Yep, because every leader here provides guidance but also provides punishments. So, you know. When I have my story written, how do I decide how many drawings per page a page will need? I make as many drawings as I need. The decision isn't drawings per page. The decision is whether or not the story is well told. But again, you shouldn't really look to me for guidance on that because I am a creator on comic maker. So basically, my comic can have as many panels and as many pages as I want it to have. It's a very freeing experience. I'll give it that. But not perhaps one that you should look up for, decision making on that, because there's a reason why usually a graphic novel is 120 pages and mine go up to 200 pages sometimes. I tend to lose track, lose control, and then just make big old heckin' chunkers. I've been trying to practice using my progress, but then I make it look easy. Yeah, 20 plus years of doing this, do anything for that long of a time, and yeah, a lot of it becomes muscle memory. I keep telling people, you're not seeing 2 hours, you're seeing 2 hours plus 20 years, you know? Like, it's a whole lot of hours. It's not a matter of bragging, it's a matter of putting things into context. People often lack context with a lot of this stuff. They'll see an artist do a thing and, like, never really, because, like, you don't tell people that stuff and all of a sudden it sounds like, oh my God, this is an unreachable magic. It's like, no, no, it's not. I couldn't do this before either. Any of this. But, you know, be crazy enough, grind long enough, and yeah, a thing that seemed unreachable at some point, all of a sudden it's just kind of like, another day ending with a Y. Yeah, exactly. That's how you got Sunstone 5 to be twice the length as Sunstone 1. Yeah, at some point I kind of lost control over that, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I really don't mind that. I will never compromise good storytelling for in order to fit things into a page count, because I don't have to. Uh, yeah, it's the same mindset like with anything you do. Like, start playing a video game, you're gonna suck. Play it, X amount of hours, and all of a sudden you're not gonna suck. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, no, I got this. These mechanics are familiar to me. I can do this shit kind of without even trying. I can do this while you know talking to somebody and being on a phone and blah blah. Like all of a sudden it requires less and less of your attention. That's because you got used to it. Because practice anything long enough, and a lot of it just becomes muscle memory. Like most illuminations these days, I don't have to think about. I just kind of do them because I've done them so many times and I've sculpted them. I've seen how things behave under certain angles of light. So it becomes easier and easier. Still not all the way there, don't get me wrong, but It's gotten to a point where I can produce consistent level of quality at just a minimal level of effort for me. Again, for me, because I've done the grind. Hmm. Yeah, if you keep practicing, yeah, you'll get there eventually. There is no like uh, there's no question about it because again, this is a matter of just kind of training yourself like everything else in life. Uh, do I ever read the comic books I've published for enjoyment? No, I hate them. I only read them when I have to. That is unfortunate side effect of leveling up. You look at the old stuff and you're like, oh dear, do I have to? Mostly say because like when you write and you start like telling too much about something that have no real use in the whole direction, it goes redundant. So I was wondering if something similar happened when you draw the actual thing. Uh, so uh, here's the thing. When your character working, not a lot goes in the wrong direction or goes redundant if it's true to the character, because like there is a big importance in establishing the person that you're trying to depict. So generally anything that works to that end works, and like very often like you'll see me do a page with like 12 panels that are basically nothing more than a prolonged exercise in character acting, in character introspection, making you stay there for that page and just soak in the character, like what they're saying, the way they're behaving. There's small moments, there's quiet panels, there's elements that depict who they are and why they are like that. And that's the way I build a lot of my stories, right? Because at the end of the day, um, you can summarize things to a plot, but a plot on its own won't really engage an audience because, well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. A great plot with terrible characters is not likely going to get people invested because they won't care because they don't care about the characters. I said likely. So there are some exceptions. Sometimes, like with horror, for instance, most characters are shit, but you're not signing up to watch character development. You're signing up to watch these pieces of shit be, dismembered in new and creative ways. Uh, but in general storytelling, character is king because if you don't have an interesting character that audiences can latch on to and want to follow because they're interesting, they're fun, they're funny, they're entertaining, they're messy, they're this, they're that, they attract attention. They make you give a shit. If you don't give a shit about the character, you're very likely not going to give much of a fuck about what's happening to them. Again, with some exceptions. Yeah, like I hate my old work, but like not in a way that's it's like hatred. It's just because it awakens the the leveled up elitist in me that looks at it and goes like, I should have done this like this. Oh man, I could have worded this better. What's this angle? Oh my God, what did I do with this, with the anatomy here? It's like, why is this so bad? It's like, well, yeah, because, it's old. Yeah, I mean, generally, you don't need fancy brushes to make something look nice. You just need experience to know what to do with the few brushes that you're using. It's kind of like a tool set, A skilled person is gonna take a simple tool set and do wonders with it. A person who doesn't know what they're doing, they can have the most modern fucking tools in existence and all the crazy laser things and this thing and that thing. It's not gonna do shit for them. It's just gonna be like, hey, I have new ways to fuck up. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the base set of skills, whether or not you understand what you're doing with the tools. Yeah, like one of my strangest favorite tools to draw with in real life is just a simple, basic black big pen. That's all. Just a basic pen. The cheapest one, but it's like I love the big brand because it has a really nice sensitivity to the thinness of lines, so you can do some really great shading with it. It's amazing. It's simple, but that doesn't mean it's in any way bad. It's cheap, still doesn't mean it's bad. Hell, same goes for digital stuff. I often get asked by people, "What tablet are you using?" Honestly, it doesn't matter. I used to do stuff like this on a freaking what was it, $10 Genius tablet. Didn't have a screen, had basic pressure sensitivity, just worked, and I could get it to do stuff for me. Most of my early comics were done on that. Most of my early illustrations done on that. Cheap, reliable, simple. Wasn't any Wacom or anything with a screen. It was just like the cheapest, lowest knockoff, basic brand. Well, not knockoff, right? Yeah, just a no brand really thing, and it still gets the job done. Because at the end of the day, you can have a hammer that says, best hammer brand in the world on the top, or a hammer that just says hammer. If you're looking for something as simple as hammering down a nail, it's probably both gonna do just as fine. Yep, it's a badge of honor, the Genius tablet. And yeah, it just worked. Like I had literally like a 6-inch Genius tablet. First five issues of Witchblade that I did were made on that. No, actually, that's a lie. The last three were done on a 12-inch Genius tablet because I found an upgrade. It's just they all just work. It's just a tool. If you know what you're doing with it, it'll do fine. Exactly. At the end of the day, like a painting is basically an exercise in guiding the eye of the viewer. You can make them pay attention to whatever you want and kind of distract them from what you don't want them to see because what you want them to see is going to be that fucking good. And it's very simple to make an easy, splotchy, sketchy background if you do a crazy cool rendering of certain elements of the painting. It's just focusing the eye. And all of a sudden, when you focus the eye like that, it actually feels very natural to have a simple, splotchy background because that's what happens when you focus on something. The rest becomes blurry. Hey, ferret. She seems very intent. Oh yeah, she's very as one put it, helicoptery. They all have the ability to do it. It's just that not all of them need it. Some of them, in fact, despise it. Looking at you, Erebus. Hey, Rach. Mm. Who is this character? This is Raphaela Auren. She is the leader of the Cupids. Mm. She's a Cupid. There are no angels, archangels in this world, just Cupids. Right now, I'm just experimenting, trying to figure out how I want to illuminate this, because, like, okay, where's that? Mm. Yeah, this next one is going to be absolutely insane. Okay. I mean, technically, this wouldn't reach her nose, would it? So technically, I'm going to have to take your word for it. Never had the luxury of enjoying tabletop RPGs. Never had anybody to play them with. Okay, now from below she would be bounced back from Eureka's hair, which is very light, so it's gonna give her a new raster layer. Okay, soft light, no. Yeah, what am I, wrong. This. I'll blend this in. Okay, erase. this stuff. Yeah, this is a Clip Studio. It's got a really good, what's it called, like a brush engine overall. I like the color mixing option. Very nice. This one has its memory intensive moments. No, you can't make contract for those things because gods of those are no longer in business. And plus, the whole thing with contracts is something that Cupid and QB have figured out. It's their own shtick of trying to prolong their existence. They are essentially lesser gods, and as such, had to figure out a way to sustain themselves because gods aren't inherently immortal. They live longer than mortals, but it takes specific conditions for a god to reach true immortality, and most of those conditions remain a mystery. So in the meanwhile, you kind of want to keep yourself young, beautiful, and eternal, you know. And that's where ambrosia kicks in. That's why they need it. Because without it, they don't last long. And especially because of a very curious thing that keeps happening in the recent age. And that is the tide of Thanatos. For some reason, they are being very specifically targeted by this upsurge of basically death. That's gonna that's gonna be explained later in the story, The House of the Wise. Yeah, most of these gods that basically, like, because initially there were a lot of gods were trying to find their purpose, so they would latch on to any kind of mortal energy that they could latch on to. But turns out a lot of mortal energies that they thought were a thing weren't. It's like so they had to swap their alignment until they found the actual source of, that specific energy. So you had a lot of these gods that used to be like, gods of war, gods of this, gods of that, that changed over time because turns out war is not an energy. War is a concept. War is a thing that happens because of an energy. And so they had to find the proper alignment and make something out of that. That's the fun part. You get to do a lot of world building that's not intrusive. Like it's it's not lore dumped constantly and consistently. It's a thing that affects these characters' lives. So when you find out about it, you find out through their perspective of it. But generally, I tend to stick to characters instead of lore dumping. So everything basically then gets revealed at the right time instead of just me front loading everything. Going like, so 10,000 years ago. But instead, from the get go, fine print starts with just a character fucking dying. And then, you find out, hey, it actually starts with this chick that kind of walks into a library. And from there on, she finds an idiot. Yeah, something like that. A lot of things basically, hide their true nature until you start digging and you realize, oh, it was this all along. God damn it, everything has a Scooby Doo ending. Yeah, at that point, lore actually matters instead of it being just kind of a bunch of pointless information. Hear that, Pa Stjepan? God, I remember the time when I would just stop a story altogether, just to just have a massive lore dump, just in the middle of it all, just not caring. Oh God, it was fucking horrifying. Mm. 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 Is it just me, or does she kind of look like Kristen Stewart? Something about the smile. Okay, oh fuck. Fuck the track. I didn't really switch to Clip Studio, I just also use Clip Studio right now. I like it for illustrations. Yeah, I don't mind it. I've always actually kind of said that the Woodbourne basically kind of always reminds me of Kristen Stewart, like conceptual. That's what I'm after. Like this kind of like a kind of a sunken in phase, but also kind of beautiful in its own way. Like it's very unique kind of beauty, you know. Yeah. That book's also coming out next year. As soon as I finish that Vigilant, which is in about like 5, 6 months from now, I'm finishing the last 4 to 5 updates of the Queen and Woodbourne, and the first book is gonna be done. And we're gonna see whether or not it finds an audience. That would be nice. This is gonna be something of a thing in this volume. There's going to be a big party, a bacchanalia, because Bacchus is still around, messing stuff up for Apollo. Apollo is like, we're gonna have a nice cultured party. Bacchus is like, ha, bitches, I brought wine. Well, I mean, with these books, it tends to check out fast, like whether or not it finds an audience or not. I was like, all of these books, Sunstone Fine Print, like they've been selling out extremely fast for even the size of their print runs, which are large because, pre-orders are actually doing the thing. People pre-ordering actually regulates the size of the print, so that means we have the books. And they've been selling out like crazy. So it's very easy to see whether or not the book is a success. For instance, here's a perfect example, right? Fine print has sold out within a few months, or for now on a massive print run, and we had to reprint it again. And something like that Vigil took about a decade to sell out its first print run. That's about, yeah, that's all you need to know. Anyway, that's the measuring stick. Is there a place to find the digital copies? Fucking Patreon, cheapest, best, and most up to date because literally it's being done there and then later on being printed. I have a really, really, really stupidly productive Patreon. And on the pinned comment there, or not comment, on the pinned post, you can actually see a massive amount of PDFs of all the stuff that's already finished. Like so, all the books that are being completed are already listed there, just ready to download and enjoy. Uh, let me see, where is it? Patreon. There it is. Copy. And here, Control V. There you go. Yeah, of course. Listen, I take my Patreon extremely seriously. I don't treat that as just some tip jar. I treat that place as a place where I bring the stuff to people who actually allow helping me, to basically funding me to actually make it. Like I want people to be up to date, so I just straight up make the comics there, and then once a book is done, we publish it. And I always keep the place busy. And whenever I have something additional to add there, I just do it because this stuff is fun. It's very nice to be able to make the stuff without constantly worrying about where am I getting my fucking where am I paying my rent from, Patreon is an excellent thing. I recommend it to any creator, but I also recommend every creator that has it to fucking take it seriously. These are people who are basically they're enabling you to do your thing. Respect that. Recently, I made a hefty investment in just turning my novel right now into an audiobook just as a gift to my patrons. Like, yeah, it wasn't a cheap thing to do. I still put it on the cheapest tier of Patreon because I'm extremely fucking grateful to everybody there. Because that's literally how I get to make all this stuff. If it wasn't for those people, mm, I would keep juggling fucking work for hire and creator owned all the time until one day, you know, it all ends and I'm still not done with my creator owned because I just didn't have the time. I had to do other stuff. And this way, I get to focus. I get to make the things that people want to read. People there appreciate it, and it's a perfect, well-oiled machine of creativity. So yeah, if you're a creator, yeah, definitely start a Patreon, but also understand it takes time to build an audience, and also once you have it, respect that audience. Understand the internet, understand communication on the internet. Like sometimes, you're gonna find yourself saying something to an audience member, and they're going to take it the wrong way because internet doesn't carry the tone of voice. So make sure to explain it, So all the little things, And then over time, there comes a point where, they understand you, you understand them, everybody knows what's being done, and then you just get to it. And thank you, Candice. There's a certain amount of gods in this story. You can't like the concept is like there's a fuck ton of deities all around the world, but like I can't fit them all in one story and expect them to matter. It's just there's no room. So, when there are other gods, most of them are basically background material because well, you don't have the time to tell every story. And you kind of have to keep things relevant still. Yeah. Like Anubis and Papillion are uh, an interesting thing because first of all she's a Cupid, but also they play into the revelation at the end big time. The thing with Anubis and Papillion is going to be a massive element of the story. Like it won't seem as important at first, and it's gonna seem like a silly little thing. But I have a way of turning silly little things into big, important, I'm crying now things, and they're definitely one of those. And also it plays into the way things unravel at the end and how it all turns out. So yeah, there's other gods. There's Hades, Persephone. Because like both Cupids and Cubi descend from Greek gods here. Uh, Big like accent is on the former Greek deities who are either retired or have evolved, and they kind of hang out together. Like there's other gods as well, but there's like gods with like active worshippers and stuff that are like they don't hang out with these losers. Like it's one of those things where it's like you always kind of dream about a book becoming so big that you could kind of just go like, "Hey, anybody else want to write in this universe and make stories? Go nuts!" That'd be fucking amazing. Just imagine like people from all over the world just fucking going like, "Yeah, okay, this is the universe we're fucking rolling with." It's like, yeah, there's a story from this region. Bam, here's fucking gods doing that stuff. Like, yes, please, thank you. But at the end of it all, you don't even need that. Like just yeah, if it inspires one other dumbass out there to just go like, "Hey, I'm gonna make my own stories about gods with hookers and blackjack," and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck yeah!" Because that's the thing, like all of this stuff, like in American comics, there's like, yeah, they've kind of overcommitted to a specific small amount of genres, and then they just kind of never veer away from that. So whenever people do stuff that are basically, the stuff that I like and the stuff that I make, I'm like, fuck yes, please more. Like I would like nothing more than to just go like, hey, you know, if you liked Sunstone while you're waiting for another one or while you're waiting for another fine print, here's this, and this. Like that's a fucking great feeling because then you feel like you're actually a part of a thriving genre, not just there fucking standing like an idiot or going alone, going like, why are you people not doing this? This is very financially successful. Like, and like there's been people who have been picking up on that stuff like crazy. Like it's actually been fucking going better and better and better. So I'm just very happy to see that, you know, because I don't just make these things. I love to read these things, and it's like, god damn it. Why do I always have to fucking reach for manga to read any genre that's, south of fucking horror? Like, if by some miracle, at some point, any of this shit becomes like a show, an animated show, or a movie, I don't think it should ever be a movie just because my stories are a little too large for that. But any of those other things, and it brings like a spare amount of fucking funding, like it boosts up the sales to the point where I never expected it. I am fucking paying people to goddamn expand on the universe. It's like I'm gonna fucking go like, all right, I want a story about this person, about this person, about this person made. I'll have the oversight, but you make a good story here. Fucking, we're gonna pay some good artists and we're gonna make some cool shit. It'd be nice. But again, at the end of the day, I am happy with what I have. I'm actually extremely happy with what I have. So if it was to stay like this forever, I am good. Naturally, the concept of this being made into a TV show or anything relies on the fact that I actually say yes to that because so far it's been a whole lot of hey, here's how we would change it completely in a way that is unrecognizable, but we want the name of it because apparently it generated some buzz on the internet. God damn. Always baffles me. Like, why would you buy a thing if you're so fucking embarrassed of making the thing? Like, what is the mind's process? Like, well, we have the IP, and then we're gonna make a thing that's nothing like it. It's gonna piss off everybody. It's not gonna make new fans, and it's gonna piss off the old ones. So, yay. Like the only thing that always kind of comes to mind is like they want to buy an IP because it's similar to something that they were trying to start, but like if there's something that rivals it at some point and then it's sold to somebody else, like it would kind of bring them in an unpleasant rivalry. That's all I can fucking figure out. 'Cause, like beyond that, I don't know. I don't understand it. Yeah, Game of Thrones. In all honesty, I really don't blame them. Like, god damn it, like Martin, man, dude, fucking just Jesus Christ, dude. Like, okay, you're not gonna finish the story on time. Just fucking deliver a proper outline at least for them to work off of. Give them something, man. Come on. Yeah, like, but here's the thing: they want a ready-made fan base. Okay, it has a ready-made fan base. What are you gonna do with that fan base? We're gonna piss them off. Why? It's just I don't know. I never understood it. I never understood the logic of it. It just always felt like the weirdest fucking flex in the world. It's like, hey, we took a thing and made it into something that looks nothing like it. Excellent, nailed it. Hmm. 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 maybe I'm just not business savvy enough. But you know what? Could be. I don't know what kind of five-dimensional fucking tax evasion game these people are playing. It's like we're gonna make it suck. Everybody's gonna be pissed off, and then we're gonna write it off. It's like, God damn it, they got me. It was a plan all along. And I still remember, like, I'm never gonna fucking talk much about the pitches I had for Sunstone because I don't want to call out people and like they would probably recognize their pitches, but boy. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not an unreasonable man. Like, I understand that, yeah, one a thing that works in one medium won't necessarily work in another. Sometimes that is very much true. But my God, come on, like, you gotta at least fucking try and make it like, recognizable for fuck's sakes. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna have to find the time to actually sit down and watch Arcane. But I'm so behind on everything. So the problem is every time I ask myself, "Hey, what should I do to rest?" I'm like, "Ooh, maybe start a new thing." Fuck off. See you, ferret. Yeah, that's maybe something to. There's maybe something to that. Thanks, Zabasha. Yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons why I stream. I like the company, really. I like an excuse to actually kind of talk while doing it. Because, like you said, it is a very kind of a lonely line of work. You're kind of there with your thoughts, maybe the music that you're listening to, but that's about it, you know? Man, it's gonna be very nice when I actually tell the story of Thaddeus and Vane as well, where things start falling into place. Thanks, Jason. Where is this? Yeah, I mean, listen. Where is it? It's gonna be in this one. And this is the cover for the next volume, so you'd expect it would focus on her more. Yeah, yeah. You have book one. Book two is out as well. And right now I'm working on book three. But yeah, Raphaela here is she is a goddess of love for sure. However, like I said, not all love is equal. There is such a thing as possessive love, jealous love, love that completely overtakes a life. And, you know, that gets hard to deal with at times. Because that love may be honest, it may be real and true and all that stuff, but it's also fucking toxic love. Cute Tim Curry. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh yeah, I've seen the fucking Panini editions. Yeah, you know what? You're fine waiting. Those are fucking worth it. Holy shit. Yeah, Panini just flexes with their editions. is gonna take about 3 or 4 sessions. Back in the day, I would make this in like 2 hours, but it would be sloppier, it would lack the nuance. And nowadays, I like to enjoy my illustration process. It's one of the few things where I can just take my time. Because with comics, it's basically always a kind of a crazy fast schedule turnaround. You gotta make the pages. Because, no matter how you look at it, it is still a thing on a deadline. Even if it's a self-imposed deadline in my case, because really the only person who I respond to when it comes to actual deadlines is me, and then after that, my readers, and that's the thing. I am a harsh boss to myself, because I don't want my readers to fucking have to wait. Oh, I have a cool idea. The cool idea is mostly around the illumination, but it's still cool. Gonna make Eureka the center of the light for the picture. I'll edit stuff with multiply later. So it's gonna be like this. But also there's a conflicting light source with her thing. So okay, so I can do I need for that edit tonal correction here, saturation, luminosity down, saturation up. Okay, now I can do this. See you, Henke. This is gonna be okay. This is enough block out for today. Still need to fix a whole lot of issues. This is kind of all over the place. Saturation is also really weird, so I have to fix that. And yeah, saturation. Let's just see something. Okay. I've no real set pattern of rules when I draw background. Sometimes it's a matter of, yeah, just pure moment of inspiration, nothing else. Okay, so let me just do a quick thing. Layer, just a layer. Glue. Yeah, Twitch has been kind of fucking that up. Hmm. Mhm. No more Photoshop? Sometimes Photoshop. I mean, until I find a proper way to replace every function and I've learned enough of this that I can just abandon it, yeah, sometimes Photoshop because it is just a tool in a toolbox. Oh boy. Let's see. Does who have a partner? Uh, her? Raphaela? Why not just import it to Photoshop so I can use my custom brushes for the finishing touch? Yeah, they're all up here. Look at them. All of the brushes I made in Photoshop, just imported. No problem. Yeah, she does have a partner. Eureka. Yeah, this is where it gets real fucking messy. She's the one who made Eureka realize there's something wrong with the concept of love in the way that they channel it. Something very fucking wrong. Well, again, is there such a thing as a love triangle in a society that's literally just nothing but love? It's one of those things that Eureka is right now trying to figure out. The status quo turns out is not really doing it. There's a whole lot of stuff that she was told from day one, when she was created, and then, it's a whole lot of really inherited, untested information, and she about to do some testing. again, technically they could all be poly. It doesn't matter. Like again, because the functional part is like they all love each other. That's where it stops, though. There is no intimacy in a physical way, really. Like, you know, at most they will give it each other peck on the cheek as a sort of like just a symbolical thing, but that's about it. Like, in the same way that QB are very much forbidden from feeling, feeling love, from dealing with love, they are very much societally discouraged from any kind of uh, desire. So yeah, something's off. I wonder if you can do this. You can't. All right. One day, someday, it's gonna happen. Oh yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of the story. Is like this is not a like at first, this is why we have this is one of the most important parts of Lauren, that she's not just the protagonist, kind of a central linchpin of the story. She's also kind of a human eyes to a very inhuman situation. Nothing about these fucking gods is gonna be quite normal. And that's gonna be that's the big problem, right? Because it's like on the surface they are very human until you get to these kind of defining elements, and then all of a sudden it all starts falling apart. All of a sudden it's a whole lot of dogma and a whole lot of basically inherited belief for the gods themselves. And then you get your free thinkers. And free thinkers usually get bonked on the head. So it's gonna be a fascinating story. Like no joke. Like this is my whole shtick is I take a thing that should be so stupidly fucking simple. Like it should be either a port or a really fucking dumb thing, and then I'm like, here's the trick, right? I'm gonna make it real fucking deep. Like so deep you're not gonna see the bottom of it, and just when you think you do, I'm gonna be like, yeah, we're still digging. So it's gonna be fun. But for now, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go get some food because I am hungry. So thank you all for being here.